Alright, in this video, I'm going to try to recreate the lighting of this planet using the lights in Nuke. Okay, so here I do have a strong lighting coming from the sun behind the planet that creates that rim light on the edge of the planet. But as well as you can see here, we can still see the details on the planet. So what I'm going to do is to create a few lights to recreate that rim light effect, but as well another light to maintain the details inside the planet. So let's try to do that. So first, I'd like to move that light to create that kind of rim light on the side here. So let's move it. So I'm not going to try to be like very accurate as I will do in a 3D software. Here, I'm just trying to cheat the feeling of the lighting here. So for example, here, that will be not too bad. But the problem that I will have with that current point light is that the fade off doesn't work that great. In order to get like a great lighting with a great fade off, I will have to use the spotlight. So as I switch to the spotlight, I don't see anything anymore. And this is because when it's on spotlight, the light is emitted through that cone here. And I will have to rotate my light for that cone to hit the planet. So how I do that? Well, as we see earlier how to modify things, I will just hold down the Control key or Command if you're on a Mac, and I will rotate my Y-axis here in order to hit the planet. And now maybe I will need to move my lights because we don't see much anymore. Okay, this could be a little bit tricky, guys. So it's normal if you get frustrated at first because it's not super easy to adjust lights on Nuke. So there is another cool tips you could use if you want to adjust a spotlight is that you can come here and select your light in the list. For example, light 1 here. And now you are going to see what your light is pointing at. And if you do a control click on the little camera icon here, or command click if you're on a Mac, it will turn that camera green, and as you move inside the viewer, you are actually moving your light the same way. So that could be a good way to adjust your lighting a little bit as well. When you are done with that, don't forget to click again on that icon. Otherwise, if you move your mouse around the viewer, you will change the position of your light, and you definitely don't want that. Okay, now that I get that lighting on the side here, how do I get more of that fall off feeling here? Well, I will come to the light parameters, and here I want to adjust the cone angle. And as I adjust the cone angle, oh, what's going on? Okay, maybe, okay, first you need to switch to the fall off, to switch on the fall off, and then you will be able to adjust the cone angle parameter. There you go. Okay, you can try as well to play with the other parameters to see if it's better on your end. Okay, and now I got more of a fade off, a nice fade off. I could adjust the intensity a little bit to get what I want, okay? And maybe move my light as well. But for now, I just want to have more or less just the edge of the planet. Okay, so this is going to be our key light. I'm not going to go through all the parameters of the light. I will let you experiment with it, and it's pretty easy to understand what does what. But for now, let's just rename our light key light. Key light. All right. Now let's create other lights. So I will hit the tab key and create another light like that I will hook up to my scene. And boom, everything becomes flat again. Why? Because we now have a strong point light coming from the camera. Well, good. Maybe I will put it a bit closer here. And I could use that as my fill light, but I will simply decrease the intensity a lot because what I want is simply to keep a little bit of details, but I don't really want to see anything. Okay, cool. And now, so we'll call that fill light. And now I'd like to accentuate my rim light. And for that, I will create a third light. So we'll hit tab again and look for the light, connect it to my scene. And this light, I will change the light type for directional. Now, the directional light is a little bit different as the position of the light doesn't matter. The only thing that matters with the directional light is the orientation of the light. So what I'm going to do here is to increase the intensity of that light to be able to see properly what I'm doing. And what I'm going to do here is to hold down the Control key to access the rotation gizmo, and I will move that light around to try to find the right position for my light. So it's not in this direction. Oops. I just want to affect the green rotation here. The what? Okay. If it's too hard to do it on the gizmo, sometimes it's better to come here and do it manually inside the properties bin directly. So what I'm doing, I'm putting the cursor of my mouse just in front of the decimal here, and with the up and down arrows, I can easily switch the rotation of my light. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just to find like that, just to try to create a great feeling of real light, just that hit here. And I think this is great. Can I toggle off, on and off? And I can see that I created a great rim light. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Maybe I can boost a little bit the intensity, but we'll be able to adjust that a little bit later. Okay, so here we did what we called a 3-point light system with a rim light, a key light, and a fill light. And you will find that type of lighting quite often. So I just wanted here as well to demonstrate the 3 kinds of lights you can use in Nuke. Don't expect Nuke to achieve crazy lighting, but for simple things that could be very helpful. So now you got the basics, and I will encourage you to play around with those lights to see what you can do. And when you're ready, let's meet up in the next clip to see how we could apply texture and shaders to objects. See you there.